Here's the top 3 things I wish I knew when I first started day trading. What's up, you guys? It's Keith from Stock Hours once again, back with another educational video. Hope you guys are having a great week so far, and we're going to go over the top 3 things that I wish I knew when I first started day trading. These are going to be some tips, some just informational things that would have made my trading process a lot easier. So starting off, the first thing is I wish I knew how much education it actually took before I really knew what I was doing. This is a common problem I see a lot of people have is they obviously know it takes some education to be able to get good at trading, but the education that is required in order to actually know what you're doing in the market is a lot more than most people think. So obviously I spent a lot of time learning how to trade and learning about the markets, but I wish I would have known how much I actually needed to learn before I put real money into the markets. So this is kind of doubling up here. Part 1 of that is, like I said, I wish I knew how much education it actually took to know what I was doing. And the second part of that is before you know what you're doing, you really should not be trading with real money yet. I wish I would have actually paper traded whenever I very first started trading. It would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of money over the years if I would have just started off with paper trading until I had a full, deep understanding of the markets, of everything that I need to know, of my plans, my rules, everything. I should have just started out paper trading beforehand. I recommend this to everybody who is first starting out trading. Does everybody listen to it? No, but it is going to save you a lot of time and money over the course of your trading career. I think the biggest reason that I personally didn't do it and a lot of other people don't do it is because they feel like it's wasting their time to an extent because they're putting all this time into it and they're just paper trading, which means they're not making any real money. But you've got to think about how long do you have to go to school before you can actually go to your job and start making money? It's a long period of time. So a big reason we see a lot of people blow accounts is because they will jump into trading, they'll start learning, they'll study for a few weeks, few months, whatever, and then they'll throw their real money into it and expect to be making money, when this is really not the case. You really should be paper trading to start out, at least to understand how your platform works properly. Because when I first started trading, I just dove straight in with real money and I barely even knew how my platform worked. So I think my very first trade, I bought into a trade and then I just literally didn't know how to sell. You know, in my head, I was like, no, this is just part of the learning curve. I'll figure it out. Once I get this figured out, it's fine, which is true. Once you get it figured out, it's fine. But it would have saved me a little bit of money if I would have practiced trading on my platform with paper trading beforehand. The first thing I wish I knew is how much education it actually takes to know what you're doing when you're trading, and also in the education process, treat it like an education process and trade with paper money. If you guys are looking for a great spot to get educated and help with the learning curve of trading by a long shot, I would highly recommend Stock Hours. We have lessons every night of the week and we trade live on mic every day, walking you guys through exactly what we're doing and why. So like I said, a lot of the problems that I was having at the beginning of my trading career was due to the fact that I was doing all of that on my own and kind of blindly at that point in time. So if Stock Hours was around back then, that would have been awesome for me and definitely helped my learning curve a ton. You're going to save so much money by joining a group of people that know what they're doing and walk you through what they're doing versus saving that money that you would be spending on a group or a course or whatever and just jumping straight into the market with it. If I would have put the money that I lost at the beginning of my trading career into Stock Hours, then I would have been way ahead of where I'm at. Like I said, if you guys are interested in joining Stock Hours and finding a good group to learn from, I would check the link down in the description or DM me on Instagram and I will get you covered. The second thing I wish I would have known before I started trading is the importance of journaling. So I personally didn't find out the importance of journaling until I was already deep into the process. And once again, this is something that Stock Hours drilled into my head, and I finally understood why you need to be doing this. The reason that you need to be doing this is because there's no way you can create a plan or create a rule book if you don't know what you're doing wrong. So journaling is going to help you figure out what your problems are, what you're good at. So what journaling is going to help do is dial down your trades from maybe you're taking this many trades when only this many of them consistently work out for your style of trading. You're gonna be able to cut down a lot of the BS that you don't need by just journaling, figuring out what you're good at, and then applying that from there. Another thing that kind of ties into journaling is creating a plan at the beginning of every day. Once you're journaling, once you figure out what you're good at, what you're bad at, what you don't need to be doing, and what you do need to be doing, you can create your daily plan based on that. And once you have your daily plan, it's a lot easier to be profitable if you just follow your plan that you know works. The third thing I wish I knew before I started day trading is the importance of consistency. Consistency builds everything in your trading. It builds everything in your P&L, and it builds everything in your long-term goal with what you're doing. If you're only focused on trying to hit these big, crazy home run trades that are 100, 200, 300, 1,000%, that is not realistic whatsoever. Those are the trades that are going to draw your attraction to trading because you see people making this crazy money, which just isn't realistic in the long run. Consistency is going to be what builds your trading account and gets you to that next level with trading. So instead of trying to focus on these big, huge home run plays that are never going to happen, or even if they do happen, they're going to be so infrequent that it's wasting your time trying to focus on these. You want to be focused on the single base hits every single day. If your average, consistent, easy, I'm putting easy in quotes, but easy day is around $100 to $200, you're going to be making much more than you would if you're focusing on the days that bring you maybe 10 times your average day, which only happen every so often. So you're going to be losing a lot more trying to get these big home run plays that rarely ever happen versus getting your consistent income on a daily basis. So bringing it back to that last example, if your average daily profit is $200 on a fairly easy day where market opens, you get your fairly easy momentum scalp in the morning, you make your $200 for the day and you walk away, you're going to be making around $44,000 a year. But if you only get your home run trades and you're only focusing on the home run trades, this is maybe going to happen 10 times a year where you're making 10 times your daily income. If you're only focusing on these big home run plays and they happen 10 times a year, and instead of making $200, you're making $2,000, you're only going to be making $20,000. So by focusing on these big, huge plays, you're going to actually be making about $24,000 less per year. So this is the importance of consistency, and that is why it's going to pay off a lot more in the long run to only focus on your consistent base hit plays. If you guys want to dig a little bit deeper into this and figure out your actual average daily income over the course of a year, you can go ahead and check the link in the description. I'll put a tab right up here where you can go to my sizing guide that I made just a couple weeks ago. So like I said, you're going to want to be focusing on consistency instead of the big home run plays. So those are my top 3 things that I wish I knew before I started trading. And I'm going to throw in an honorable mention. So an honorable mention that I wish I knew before I started trading is don't focus on what others are doing. You're going to see so many people online all the time making all this crazy money or hitting these 1,000, 2,000% plays back to back to back every day. Some people on the internet lie. That's just a fact. These 1,000, 2,000, 3,000% plays that are happening every day, that is not realistic whatsoever. And the risk that people have to take on in order to make that happen is extraordinary. I know of so many groups out there that will literally get into a position and say their stop loss is 100% stop loss. And they're either gonna take their stop loss at 100% stop loss, or they're gonna get this crazy return. Now, you tell me, is that realistic? If you are gonna risk all of your money on one trade and it either has to hit or it's not going to hit, what does that sound like to you? That sounds like complete gambling. So that is not a realistic thing to do. The only reason that these people can do this, even if it is real, is because they have their subscribers backing their accounts. So they can afford to blow their account every single day. And then the one time that it hits, or maybe the 2 times that it hits, whatever, that's awesome for them. But the amount of accounts that people go through trying to trade that way is just not realistic. So don't focus on what other people on the internet are doing. Don't compare your profits to theirs, because even when you see people posting large profits, you guys are pretty much doing the exact same thing. If somebody took the same trade as you and made a lot more money on it, they're still doing the same thing as you. They just happen to have a larger account and they can take on larger risk. That's gonna get you down a lot when you very first start trading, is you'll see all these people making all this money and you're like, dang, I only made $200 today. $200 in the matter of 30 minutes to an hour is pretty good to me. I mean, if there was a job out there that they're saying, yeah, we'll pay you $200 an hour, you only have to show up for 30 minutes to an hour of a day, and you can be done for the rest of the day. That sounds like a pretty good job to me. So don't focus on what other people are doing. Don't compare your P&L to others. And something big that I realized whenever I got into stock hours is I would see Noor making a crazy amount of money and I'd be like, wow, that's insane, which it is. It's awesome. But the moment that I realized, wait, we're taking the exact same trades. The only difference between that and what I'm doing is he has a larger position size because he has more money, obviously. The moment that you realize you're doing the exact same thing as everybody else is going to be the moment that your trading gets a lot easier on you mentally. That was a big thing that set off for me. It's like, wow, I really can do this. This is legit. I really can do this. This is the exact same thing. Like, we just took the same trade. I made, $200. He made $20,000. I mean, the only difference is his position size was a lot bigger. So it really makes it set in and makes you realize, like, this is all completely possible, and all I have to do to make that happen is just continue my process. So I hope this video helped you guys out, gave you a few pointers, a few tips, and if it did, make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you don't miss our live charting sessions on this YouTube channel every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Peace.